the day, episode number 15 in today's live streaming sequence. It has been so much fun today. Lots of recordings taken and the conversations had. So go ahead and check the recordings of the live streams that we've had today. And yeah, there will be more that are going to be uploaded in time here. But I'm just moments away from picking up the next ride, so stand by while we find out what we're in store for in this next segment, which is, again, super exciting. Where am I going? Oh, I'm going right there. I see her. Let me go ahead and open the door. I'll be right back.
I got it. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, darling. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Hello, Kat.
Hello.
My name is Biniam.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise, dear.
I like your bow tie.
Oh, thank you for noticing. It's kind of subtle there, isn't it?
I mean, I don't think it's too subtle.
I was being facetious.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I'm not great.
You have yet to catch on to my humor.
Oh, I'm just bad at recognizing sarcasm. I think it's autism.
Well, actually, also for me, people don't expect it from me. Like, they see me the way I'm dressed, the way I behave. They're like, I would never guess you're just that way. I'm like, I know, I catch them off guard. I want to give you a heads up here, Kat, before we get too far in. I do something unusual in my Uber.
Okay.
I take opportunity to live stream my rides, and I do that because I don't know. There's just amazing experiences I have in the context of my rides with my riders, and it's just a really neat way of sharing some really encouraging experiences along the way.
Yeah.
So. Just careful what you share. I don't want you to like divulge things where you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't said that on live stream.
I'm a very blunt and honest person, so I don't really.
I appreciate that. Am I catching you at the end of your day or?
Kind of. End of my workday.
End of your
workday.
workday.
See my boyfriend.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And you work from home or no?
No,
No.
I work at a restaurant, and I work at another place too, but I was working at the restaurant today. It's Galaxy Diner right near here.
I've heard of over on that.
On 11th.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
it's,
like Myers Deli right beside it. I work at both places because it's the same owner.
oh, I see.
Yeah.
It does mean like double shifts though for you.
No, not necessarily. Usually, people will only be scheduled in one place on one day.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but just most of the staff works at both restaurants.
At both of them. That's kind of handy actually, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Having two entities right beside each other
Yeah.
and having employment at both. Does that mean you have two employees?
Two restaurants.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes sense. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. And now you are on your downtime and you're going to go hang out with your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Would you divulge to me how you and your boyfriend met?
It's kind of a funny story.
I love
He used
stories.
to be friends with
Yeah.
my ex-boyfriend. They were
Tell
best
me
friends.
more. They were.
Yeah, my ex-boyfriend turned out to be not a very nice person.
I see.
And when my current boyfriend found out about it, he actually had a girlfriend who I was kind of friends with.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend broke up with him
Yeah.
a couple weeks before my boyfriend broke up with me. And we both kind of realized they weren't the nicest people.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we just ended up having a lot in common and
Yeah.
and liking
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
And he found out just some things about my ex-boyfriend that
Yeah.
he was not okay with. And
Yeah.
he didn't want to be associated with
I
someone like
see.
that.
I
So
see.
yeah, it's kind of a funny beginning, but
That is unusual, isn't it? I think for sharing. I would have guessed that anyway. As if I would have. Oh my. Okay, so there's history there.
a little bit.
Yeah. But not bad history. It's just like,
No.
this is
and
the way things transpired.
Yeah, it kind of started out as we just were in the same situation. I mean, slightly different experiences, but both just turned out to have dated very, very selfish people.
Gotcha.
Just selfish in different ways, but
Yeah.
yeah, we kind of had a lot in common. We
Yeah.
both got dumped.
Yeah.
We both had put a lot of time, money, energy into our previous relationships.
Yeah.
each other, and we both realized we cared about each other,
Yeah.
and it was nice to actually be cared about in that way. It was very different than our
previous experiences. Absolutely. All right, so as you realize these things, like in hindsight is when I usually find out a lot more about myself, in the midst of like what my values are, what my non-negotiables are, what things I want to do differently. Did you have a similar experience in the aftermath of that first relationship?
Yes,
Of
but
epiphanies? Yeah.
it wasn't even so much what I would do differently. It
Yeah.
was more just like taking off the rose-colored glasses
Sure.
and realizing that someone wasn't the person that I thought they were.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it wasn't necessarily like my standards had
Yeah.
changed a
Yeah.
lot. It
Yeah.
was more just I realized that I have to be more careful with
Sure,
people, and
sure.
I have to
Yeah.
just look deeper into who someone is and
Absolutely.
not accept them at a surface level.
Gotcha. And maybe even have expectations and standards of what it takes to have access to you and your heart.
Sometimes, yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like I've changed much with that. I'm
Yeah.
not very stingy with that. I don't believe
Gotcha.
people should be with love. I believe everyone deserves love, and so
I agree. Yeah, yeah.
you should give as freely as you want to receive it.
Gotcha.
It's more just maybe signs to look out for of
Right.
a person who doesn't have your best interests at heart.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think one of the things that so in my initial, I'm divorced now, but in the aftermath of mine, one of the ways I put it is there were some lessons for me that I just don't want to learn twice. They were just painful
Yeah.
enough the first time, and for me in my setting, like I'd contributed a lot of hurt in my relationship. Really, yeah, and that, just watching how I contributed to that, I saw the brokenness, right? And I was like, this really sucks because of the actions that I chose to take, and et cetera. And so I was like, okay, in the future, I don't want to have this experience ever again. So towards that end, I'm going to lock in for me now some values that I'm going to like hold tenaciously. One being transparency. What does it mean for me to be honest and upfront with this person as I ask for their heart? Because asking for someone's heart is a big deal, isn't it? To say, can I have access to your vulnerable sector? It's a big deal. And so, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah.
I think, yeah, as much as bad relationships suck, you
Yeah.
definitely learn things about yourself. Like, another thing I learned is just to be more confident in myself, because another part of the reason I had so many issues and was with someone so terrible was because I wasn't confident in who I was. I didn't stand up for myself. I didn't believe in myself.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just having that better sense of self
Yeah.
and realizing like who you are and being
Yeah.
okay with that,
Yeah.
and not having, I don't know, shame, because that's also
Sure.
how a lot of people will take advantage of you, is that
Yeah.
they realize that you feel ashamed of who you are, or
Absolutely.
what you look like,
Yep.
or just anything about yourself.
Yep.
And then they'll use that to put you down further and to make you like crave their validation.
true.
And so I think I've learned to be more sure of myself, because
Yeah.
you always need other
I'm investing in.
people think, because
Yeah.
also what other people think can change and it can shift, and different people think different things. It's not one constant.
So true. Maybe the conversation would be helped if we defined what integrity means to us. So, like, if you were to use your own words to define or describe what integrity is, how would you phrase that?
I think it's kind of similar to loyalty, a number of different reasons,
Sure.
but I think it's kind of just that unwavering devotion, I guess would be the way to define it. I don't know.
I like that word devotion. I've never actually heard it in this context, and this is why I love these conversations, because I'm like, there's another peek at insight that is beautiful. So I'm going to see if I can use your word, because it's brilliant, I think. Your boyfriend later. You'll be like telling him about this conversation.
Yeah.
You'll be like, this Uber driver, he just getting shit. No. Nonetheless, yeah, the definition Google proposed, I was like, this is so lackluster. So my proposal for the definition is the alignment between one's internal values and their external actions.
Okay.
So when you're saying devotion or loyalty, I like it because there's a devotion to one's value system first and foremost. They're so committed to saying, here's what my convictions my priorities in life are, and so there's that commitment, loyalty, devotion to that. And then the second part I think is also really critical, because if you just believe something but don't actually do it, that's an inconsistent expression of integrity. But if you believe it and then actually follow through in the way you act, then there's a lot more there, it seems to me. And so that's the part that I found compelling or helpful, at least. So if that's the case, then I'm thinking, like, yeah, when thinking about who's integrity primarily for, I think, well, here's my story is, I was once upon a time one of the most competent and accomplished people pleasers. I knew how to read someone just by seeing them and saying, oh, here's what they want from me. And then I'd not only meet the perceived expectations, but I'd even like exceed those. And I mean, I was really successful as a result in so many things. But at some point a few years back, I came to the really painful epiphany that I knew so much more about everyone else, but I had no idea who I was. I had no idea what my values were. Now, perceptually, to everyone else, they're like, "Oh, Benny, you have integrity," but it was more like I was just cueing my means for me to be successful, or along those lines. And it wasn't that I saw integrity as what I needed at that time, but that process of saying I need to shift gears here and start, even though it might mean that others might reject me. That's the thing I fear most. Others might find me lacking worth. Others might think I'm worthless for nothing. And so along those lines, I guess that's where I feel convinced that I had to commit to loyalty to me by way of saying, can I have integrity by first of all understanding what my value system is and then following through on that, regardless of what anyone else thinks. A huge part of that was honesty. Can I start speaking honestly, saying, you thought I want this, or I am this, but actually I'm not that, I am this. And I know that,
not the ones I built, not one I had created yet.
Yeah.
That was when I felt the most shame. Was when I didn't really have an identity, because I didn't know even what to have integrity to.
Wow. I see. That's intense.
Yeah.
So, what would integrity say to one who is struggling with shame? I think integrity would say, like, if it was speaking according to the value system of that person, you would probably reach into, tap into whatever the value, because here's the thing, we have different hierarchies for our values, right? It's not the same for everyone. And that's why I like just keeping it open and saying, what do you subscribe to? What do you find of value, or what do you find that is important in your moral compass? And that's different for everyone. But I think that person and say, what's the thing that they resonate with at the very core that they're probably scared to maybe believe? It might be something like, I am worthwhile, or I'm a human being who isn't designed for perfection, or like I'm okay when I make a mistake or something like that. That's probably what I would suggest.
I think it would be like, the stronger I am, the weaker you are.
Say that again.
The stronger I am, the weaker you are.
The weaker shame is.
Yeah.
The stronger integrity is, the weaker shame. Oh my.
I think honestly, instead of focusing on banishing shame, because that never works, then that makes you feel even more shame for that somehow.
Yeah.
People should focus on building their integrity, because the stronger the thing is that fights shame, the better your chances are. Trying to fight shame on your own is not going to actually go anywhere.
I agree. It's almost like disempowering the shame with something else.
Yeah.
What are you going to put in its place, basically?
Yeah.
What news stories are you going to believe for yourself, basically? The stronger I am, the weaker. That's actually very simple and concise. I like that. Very well said. Which religion / cult were you a part of once upon a time?
Jehovah's Witnesses.
I hear you.
Yeah. They can be very, very nice people.
They present a really good front, don't they? I know.
Yeah, and like a lot of them do have very, very genuine intentions.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because for a lot of people, the reason they're in that religion is because they care so much, because they want to help other people, because they would give their lives for other people in a way.
If you're in the fold.
Well, not even. they truly want to save people. Like, they are taught to love, but they're the only ones that can save someone, and that gives someone very much an air of superiority.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like philanthropist billionaires. They have that intention, maybe. They're trying to help people. That satisfies that urge, that guilt that they feel.
Yeah.
It satiates
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And so they don't have to feel like they're doing something wrong.
Sure.
But at the same time, they believe that they are right, and they cannot see how anyone else could be. They can't even open their mind to the possibility of someone knowing more than they do, or being more right than they are, or of what they believe to be wrong.
Yeah.
So I think that creates kind of an ego, and so it makes them blind. They can't even see reasonable, I don't know, information or the truth when it's right in front of them, because they believe so strongly that, like, they're right and that they're the only ones that can help people.
Right. I grew up in a very religious setting as well.
What religion?
I was Baptist.
Okay.
I went even as far as becoming a pastor.
Wow.
For a few years. Like, I was very invested. But again, the observation that I also noticed is, and I think what was one of the significant challenges that I still hold now is, I'm not sure if it's possible for any human being to have a quorum on the entire truth and say this is definitively the truth for everyone.
Yeah.
In fact, it makes a lot more sense to me, Kat, to see that I'm a fellow human being amongst many who are striving to understand as best as we can. We might find some ideas compelling, or ideas more compelling, but they're quite different. And the reality, it seems to me, is we'll see small little pieces from our vantage point, from our background experience, etc., our upbringing, and there's a healthy humility that can come when we're like, I don't have all the answers, but I'm happy to like listen to others as while I strive for whatever makes sense for me, you know. And also, I don't see the world as black and white as I did in that setting. I've made peace or friends with the mystery of the unknown as well. So I've got my convictions, which I'm still mulling over, but I'm holding them loosely, saying I don't have the full access to comprehensive truth. And so if that's the case, how can I listen respectfully and ask good questions of others' convictions, but treat those as sacred for them, even if I don't find them compelling for me, while I also try to figure out my own way too.
I think a lot of religions take advantage of that, like, fundamental human just need to know.
Yeah, there's
like,
you're right.
People just want to know. We're curious.
Yep.
Like, child or adult.
Yep.
It's the reason people gossip, and it's the reason people eavesdrop.
Yeah.
The reason people stop. We want to know the answers. We want to know what's going on. We want to know everything. That's why we have the pursuit of science and knowledge. That's why we have progress.
Yep.
But at the same time, that like need to know can blind you, because if you need to know so bad that when someone gives you an answer, you don't look any farther, you just accept that as the truth, and because it's easier, that's when you become really gullible and really easy to manipulate, and people end up using you to their advantage.
Agreed. Yeah. And I watch those who abuse that place of power. I've got hard questions for those individuals. Yeah. I appreciate your insights. May I ask how old you are?
I'm 21.
Which even accentuates, a lot of young people in your season of life think I'm like more than double your age.
How old are you?
I'm 44.
Okay.
And so,
you look great for 44.
Thank you. So I've heard, but I just mentioned your age just because I'm appreciative and admiring at a young age. So, kudos.
I appreciate and admire your insights as well.
Thank you. I appreciate you, and thank you for having this conversation with me too.
Of course. Do you believe that I'm a little bit high right now?
No, I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sometimes I felt like I didn't even know what I was talking about.
Oh, seriously?
Oh, yeah.
I would have asked questions if I didn't understand. I would have. Yeah, I like understanding. And I'm pretty tactful when I'm like, that didn't make sense, but help me understand more.
Well, I'm glad it was all So.
I have one more query for you, and this one here, it's a bigger ask, and I love to preface it by saying I can't get this conversation on my platform.
Yeah, no worries.
I would love to have your consent that way.
For sure. What's your platform?
I will give you my card if that's okay.
Yeah,
You'll
I'd
have.
love to watch it.
Oh, thank you.
Look back and
Yeah.
see how it sound. I don't know. Sometimes when you listen back on the things you've said,
Yeah.
it sounds different.
I wouldn't ask if I was concerned. Here's my card, my dear.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
What platforms are you on?
I'm on YouTube. YouTube is the one I'm building up now. This is one I'm shifting to, but my primary one currently is on TikTok. Instagram is secondary to that, and LinkedIn as well.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm happy you were here today. It was lovely to have this conversation.
I'm so delighted. You are. I keep saying I get the lion's share of amazing riders, and I have.
It'd be a very fun talk.
It is. It is so much fun. I'm grateful. I really am. Okay, which one's his house now?
Just on the left of the light, so I think you can just pull around a little bit
Awesome.
there.
Oh, great.
End up right in front of
The one with the Christmas lights there?
it. Yeah.
Okay.
And what was your name?
My name is Biniam.
Binia.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's Kat.
It's Kat, yes.
And your boyfriend's name is?
Logan. He
Would you-
ordered them for me.
Oh, he did. No, it was in your name, but he must have changed that name.
Yeah, I think he can order it in my name.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Would you tell him salutations? Oh, he's already waiting for you. What a guy.
Okay, have a
Enjoy your
lovely
visit,
evening.
dear.
Thank you very much.
Hope to see you again along the way. Oh my goodness. Wasn't that great again, you guys? I feel like I'm almost losing my voice. But yeah, it was a great conversation. Thanks for sticking around, guys. My time limit has arrived to be offline. So I'm going to go and hang out with my daughter now. And I will touch base with you guys tomorrow. Again, thank you for joining me in this epic time. Appreciate y'all. Bye.